Good to see the sanctuary starting to fill up. I wish I could turn the camera around and show everyone at home. There are a few seats still left, though. So I know we've heard a lot about seeds and gardening in recent weeks, but given the stewardship campaign of Grow Together, I can't help but share one of my favorite, but perhaps lesser known stories of the Gospels. It's the one about the time that Jesus came across two of his disciples, James and John, laboring in a field on a hot day. Jesus watched them first from afar and saw that James would dig a hole in the ground with a spade, and then John would promptly take all the dirt that James had removed and shovel it back into the hole, refilling it. Jesus watched as they went on doing so over and over, James digging a hole and then John immediately filling it back in again before they moved on to the next. Jesus came closer and called out to them, "James, John, why do you dig holes only to fill them up again?" James replied, "Rabbi, normally Thomas is with us and drops a seed into the hole after I dig it and before my brother fills it, but he called in sick today." At least I think that's a gospel story. Do you recall that one? No? Okay. It's not blasphemy, is it? I mean, confession's done, so can I get a... Okay, all right. Sorry, I don't do well with solemnity at the lectern. My family would claim I also don't do well with humor at the lectern, but they're a tough audience. In all seriousness, growing together is a wonderful theme for the stewardship campaign because that's really what we all do here at Christ Church, isn't it? We grow, and we do so together. We, of course, grow physically. Some of you were no doubt carried into Christ Church for your very first Mass, and some of us will stick around long enough to eventually be carried out after our last. Alpha through Omega. Our children start attending nursery school and Sunday school, and then in the blink of an eye, they're being confirmed, and then the next thing you know, you're walking them down the aisle to get married here. And then all of a sudden, they're bringing their own children to Sunday school, as we look on and wonder where all the years went. But more importantly, Christ Church is a home in which we all grow in countless non-physical ways. We, of course, grow spiritually. That's obviously job one, seeing as how this is at church and all. Through Christ Church services, education programs, Bible study groups, outreach activities, and pastoral care by Kate and her team, we all grow as Christians. We grow in our understanding of God, and we grow closer to Him. We also grow as friends. You might come to Christ Church for God, but you stay for the coffee hours. And your buddies at Theology on Tap, and your best friend who you serve alongside in the altar guild, or the nice new girl who just joined the choir, or the couple who are 25 years ahead of you and your spouse, but for some reason you just love chatting every time you see each other at one of Christ Church social functions. Here at Christ Church, we all quickly grow to become friends. The older I get, the more I realize that life is really a never-ending journey of such personal growth. Nearly every morning I wake up and realize what a fool I was on the day before, but somehow what a wiser person I am today, and will be the day after that and the day after that. But Christ Church is like a fertilizer, which helps speed up that personal growth. And maybe with a little weed killer mixed in too, sort of a weed and feed. It's sort of like Jesus' parable about the sower who went out to sow. This one is a real parable, I promise. Some of the seeds fell on the path and the birds devoured them. Other seeds fell on rocky ground and quickly withered in the sun since they had shallow roots. And other seeds fell among thorns and were quickly choked by them. But thankfully, some of the seeds fell on good, fertile soil and produced grain, which grew 30-fold and 60-fold and 100-fold. Christ Church is good, fertile soil. And so I invite you to all sow your seeds upon it so we can grow together. Thank you.